So in the instrumental type of experiment, the first type of experiment, that is potentiometric experiment. So in potentiometric experiment, as the name suggests, we measure the potential. Okay, so we measure the potential. So for measurement of potential, we'll require what? Two types of solution. So based upon that two solutions only, we can measure the potential. Okay, so this is the picture of the standard potentiometer. Okay? Standardized potentiometer. So for the potentiometer, there are like various channels are there, channel 1 and channel 2, and in the back side there are the standardizations. Okay, standardization unit. So this, we are seeing the back side of this potentiometric instrument. So for this we need to insert the that keys are there. So if we use that keys for the standardization, so here you should get the 1.018 as the reading. Okay, 1.018 as the reading if we standardizing the potentiometer. Okay, so for the standardization of potentiometer, we use the internal standard method. So in the potentiometer itself, there is a one uh, meter bridge is there, Wheatstone meter bridge is there. So if we balance that, so based upon that we get the potential output of around 1.018. So finally we get the standardized this potentiometer. Okay, so that is the one method of our determining the standardizing the potentiometer. Or sometime we might use the dual glass electrode. Okay, dual glass electrode, as we have seen here. Okay, this type of glass electrode is there. So this is the saturated calomel electrode. So same type of electrode is there, glass electrode. So that glass electrode can be also used for the measurement of potential in the given solution. So for that purpose we will require only one type of solution. So if there are two types of solution and we try to like measure the potential difference between that two types of solution, we use the potentiometer. And if we are having only with one solution, then we use what? The glass electrode for the measurement of potential. So in the first experiment, that is the EMF measurement for the finding out the mean ionic activity coefficient, we use the two different type of solutions of the silver nitrate and the that one is the like standard solutions of silver nitrate are there. Two types of standard solutions are there, and based upon that we tend to find out the exact ionic activity coefficient for the silver solutions and the nitrate solution. So we are not showing not like seeing this experiment. Okay, but we are interested in this second experiment. Okay, to determine the pK values for the phosphoric acid. So this pK value are like seems to be like related with the pH. Okay, since pH and pK values are related with each other, so the basic view from this experiment is that it is expected that this experiment should be performed on the pH meter and not on the potentiometer. And we all know that this potentiometer and pH meter both can be used for the measurement of potential. So that potentiometer is already known to us, that we can use this potentiometer for the measurement of potential. But how we can use this pH meter for the measurement of potential? So there is a knob on this pH meter. So once you will like visit the lab, you will certainly see that pH meters. So there in detail you can understand the function of how will you can change this pH into potential, or how will you change the functions of our output signals. Okay, so there are the two types of like thing is there. One is the potential and another one is the pH, that we can measure by using the pH meter only. Okay, pH meter only. So for this we does not require to measure the, or does not require two types of solution. Only one types of solution is sufficient to measure the like overall potential, because there is an internal cell in the pH meter. So we need not to be like have the external separate solution. Okay, standard solution. So like theory for this experiment is, first of all we see the aim for the experiment. So aim for the experiment is what? To determine the pKa values. So pKa values are generally find out for what? For the acids, okay, for the acid of the phosphoric acid. So phosphoric acid by the potentiometric titration against the sodium hydroxide using glass electrode. So in the aim only we get to know the all the details that we will be required to for the performing the experiment. So first of all we need to understand what is the pKa values, and next what is the phosphoric acid, and next is the potentiometric titrations against sodium hydroxide using what? Glass electrode. So all of these things must be known to us before performing the experiment. So the first thing is what? pKa values. So what do you mean by pKs? So pKa values are related with the like dissociation constant of acid, okay. So my pK is nothing but what? pK or pH is nothing but what? Simply negative log of Ka, okay, negative log of Ka. So if I take the negative log of Ka, I will get the value of pK. And what is the Ka value? This K is what? K is nothing but the dissociation constant of acid, okay. So for the particular acid we get the particular value of dissociation constant. So for the weak acid we get the low value of dissociation constant, and for the strong acid like HCl or say sulfuric acid we get the higher values of dissociation constant, okay. So here we are using what? Phosphoric acid. It is a tribasic acid and it is a quite strong acid, and the tribasic acid means there are the 3 protons. So H3PO4, this is the formula of phosphoric acid. So the structure is P double bond O, and there are 3 OH groups attached to the phosphorus, okay. So these 3 protons are exchangeable, or these 3 protons can be donated. So it is acts as the tribasic acid, okay. It is acts as the tribasic acid. So here you can see that this phosphoric acid is a tribasic acid. So it can ionize into the 3 stage. So in first stage it will loses its 1 proton to the solvent molecule, then second one, and then last one. So how will you expect this, the values of dissociation constant? So initially when there is no charge on the phosphoric acid molecule here, okay, initially when there is no charge on the phosphoric acid molecule, its acidity is high, okay. Acidity is quite high because the proton can be easily lost. But once you get the this first proton removed, you get what? So the structure will changes to what? One OH, second OH, and last one is the O minus, okay. O minus is there. So this O minus is what? It is quite electronegative. Also this stabilized by what? This resonance structure. So due to this the overall electron density on this phosphorus is increases, okay. And due to this what happens? So due to this electron pool is quite reduced and the overall acidity is get decreased. So once the first proton is removed, we expect that the acidity should decrease. So the fact that the ionization constant which occurs in the 3 successive stage, and with increasing the values we get to know that the first dissociation constant is larger than second and than the third one. So the order of dissociation constant for the 3 stages is given by this relation, okay. These 3, okay. So how will you determine this? So we can use the Henderson equation for the finding out the pH value and the pKa value. So that we will see in the that calculation part. So before that, for this experiment we will require the following solution. So phosphoric acid, that is standard solution, is there. So this phosphoric acid solution will be provided. So then we need to titrate this solution against what? 0.25 normal sodium hydroxide solution. So how will you prepare this 0.25 normal? In sodium hydroxide is what? It is a, okay, it is a solid in nature, so we need to use that second formula. Then there is a calcium chloride solution is there, calcium chloride powder is there. It is a hydroscopic, so we need to like prevent it from the moisture. then pH of the buffer solutions of pH 9.18 and 4, the glass electrode, burette solution, and the 25 ml of pipette, 250 ml of beaker, then other things like which are necessary for the doing the experiment. Okay, so the first experiment or the first thing that we should do is we need to first standardize the pH meter. So how will you standardize the pH meter? So for that purpose we use the buffer solution of pH 4 and pH 9.18. so once we have do the standardization, we simply take the provided amount of phosphoric acid and we dilute it up to the 250 cm cube into the given standard measuring flask. Then from that solution we will pipette out the 50 ml of phosphoric acid and will like measure the pH of solution, that is the initial pH. And once we have got to the stable pH value, we add the 0.5 ml of NaOH solution from the burette and we stir the solution and again measure the pH. Okay, so we'll repeat this experiment likewise. Okay, so what is that? So serial number 1 2 3 up to so on. So initially when no NaOH solution was added, so we have to take that first reading also. Okay, here when the NaOH solution is not added, there also we take the reading, then 0.5 pH value reading, second, third, as such. Okay, so we get the various pH values. So we are not plotting this. Okay, we are in lab, we are not doing this table. So up to here only we are performing this. Okay, so once we have got the like say first peak, which is around say we get the pH range. So we have to plot the graph. Okay, we have to plot the graph. So initially when certain amount of NaOH added, we get the steady pH increase, and at particular values we get the sharp increase in the pH values, and again it will try to like stabilize. Okay, again it will try to stabilize, and once we have been reached to the certain values of NaOH solution, again there is a steep rise. Okay, again there is a steep rise. So here we are seeing the steep rise, and after that the solution again attain the constant pH value. Okay, so when this value is attain the constant pH value, this, so up to here we take further 2 to 3 readings. Okay, 2 to 3 readings, and we add the calcium chloride powder. Okay, calcium chloride powder into the same solution. So why we need to add this solution? Because we know that the glass electrode that we are using for this experiment is having the limit of, okay, detection limit of pH values. So this glass electrode is generally the membrane of like okay, this polymeric membrane is there, and this polymeric membrane is only responsible for the H plus ions. Okay, so this pH value only showing the response of the H plus ions only. But since once the pH has been reached say greater than 9, okay, greater than 9 or say around 10, so if the solution having the pH of 10 is there, then the pH electrode won't show you the exact result. Okay, so there is a quite fluctuation in the given solution. So we need to add around 1 gram of, so we have to add the 1 gram of calcium chloride in the same solution, so that the pH of the solution gets suppressed to the certain lower value. Okay, so when we add the calcium chloride, the pH decreases to the certain value, and again we continue the same experiment by adding the 0.5 ml of this NaOH solution, 0.25 normal NaOH solution from the burette, and we measure the pH values. Okay, so from this experiment we get the 3 different readings, that is V1 first or the initial endpoint, then second endpoint for the second pK value, V3 is the third endpoint. Okay, so we need to plot again this second graph, that is change in pH with respect to change in volume, that is change in volume is 0.5. so change in pH is what? pH of P2 minus pH2 minus pH1. so based upon this we get the 3 sharp peaks. Okay, 1 2 and 3. So based upon these 3 peaks we get to the conclusion of the pK values. Okay, so based upon this graph also we will get the three values, that is V1, V2 and V3. Okay, V1, V2 and V3. So once we have got to these values of V1, V2, V3, we will put that values in the Anderson equation, that is pH is equals to what? pKa plus log of concentration of salt upon acid. And at half equivalence point we know that what? At half equivalence point the concentration of salt is equals to acid. Okay, so at V1 by 2, at V1 by 2 my pH1 value, okay, pH1 value will be corresponds to the pKa1 value. Okay, so my pH1 value is equals to what? pKa1 value. So similarly my pKa2 is nothing but what? pH value at V2 upon 2. Okay, so consider here, so my V1 value is, suppose my value V1 value is around say 5, okay, 5.0 ml. So my V1 value is 5.0 ml. So how will you find the pKa1 value? So for finding out the pKa1 value, I will simply divide this V1 value by 2. So here 5 ml is there, so here 2.5 ml is there. So for 2.5 ml, the corresponding values of pH will corresponds to the value of my pKa1. Okay, similarly for this V2, there is a point, say suppose my V2 is around okay, say my V2 value is around say 7. Okay, 7 is there. So for 7 I need to get to what? 3.5. So for 3.5, say here is 7, so for 3.5 say up to here, so my pH value corresponds to this point is pKa2. Okay, and similarly for V3 by 2 means say suppose at here point, so I might get the values say around pKa3. Okay, so for pKa1, pKa2 and pKa3, the expected values are, so my pKa1 should be around say 2.16. This is the expected results. Okay, then 7.21, that is pKa2, and last one is the pKa3 is around 12.32. Okay, so these are the expected results. So in this experiment, what type of questions that might be asked? So the basic question is, first of all, so why we need to how we measure the potential. Then second is what is the chemical formula of phosphoric acid and how it will be dissociate. Okay, so here it is given as the general dissociation. You need to give the dissociation for phosphoric acid specifically. Then next you need to compare this phosphoric acid dissociation, and theoretically you need to predict the three dissociation constant and their nature, okay, with respect to each other. Then next is the what are the various type of solutions that is required. Then next is the procedure that we are going to perform. So specific question like theoretical question like procedure for the given experiment. Okay, and next is the conclusion. Okay, final conclusion, and what are the expected results for this experiment. So these are the certain questions that might be asked from this experiment.